the topic MBO and management process. So first we'll start with MBO and I'll begin with introduction of MBO. MBO stands for Management by Objective. It was introduced by Peter F. Drucker in 1954. It was developed to emphasize on how to achieve the specific objective. It is a cluster of techniques and concern on the activities in management. It is an arrangement between employers and employees. It is a systematic and organized approach that allows management to focus on achievable goals and to attain the best possible result from available resources. The concept of MBO is closely connected with the concept of planning. Next, we'll move to the main concept of MBO. The principle of MBO is to make sure that everybody within the organization has a clear understanding of the aim, and they also have the awareness of their own responsibilities and roles. The system of MBO empowers the manager and employee to achieve their own plans, which will be leading them to achieve the organizational objectives. Next, we'll be moving towards the definition of MBO. MBO can be defined as a process where the employees and the supervisors come together to identify common goals. The employees set their goals to be achieved, the standard to be taken as a criteria for measurement of their performance and contribution, and deciding the course of action to be followed. So here, what I mean is that MBO can be defined as a process where both the employees and the employer come together and they both collectively set a common goal, and after that the employees set their own individual objectives, and then the manager measures their performance on the basis of the standards set by the company, and then they decide on a course of action which they will be following to achieve the organizational goals. Next, we'll be moving towards MBO in practice. So we can bring MBO into practice through 5 steps. So the first step is determine or revise organizational objective. So in this step, the manager either needs to determine or revise organizational objective for the entire company. This broad overview should be derived from the firm's mission and vision. And in the second step, the the manager needs to translate objectives to the employee. So in the second step, the manager needs to translate the organizational objective to the employee so that they have a better understanding of what they are supposed to do, or what are the objectives of the organization. And the third step is participation of employees. So in the third step, the manager needs to simulate the participation of employees in setting individual objectives. He needs to encourage the employees to set their own objectives, which will be leading them to achieve the larger objectives of the organization. So it motivates the employee and also empowers them. So, and the fourth step is monitoring. So the manager needs to monitor the progress of the employees. He needs to check whether the performance of the employees is up to the mark of the company, or if there is any conflict, or if the employees are facing any difficulties in achieving their objectives, etc. And the fifth and last step is evaluating and rewarding. So the manager needs to evaluate the employees' performance and reward them accordingly. And the next topic is feature of MBO. So the first feature is superior subordinate participation. So in this, what they mean is like ഒരാൾ മാത്രമല്ല, like superior മാത്രം participate ചെയ്താൽ പോരാ, subordinateും participation ആവശ്യമാണ്. So like both should be participating in determining the objectives for the organization. Second is clarity of goal. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിനകത്ത് like employee should also have clarity about the goals he need to achieve in the organization. Third step is better communication and coordination. So in MBO, the communication is two ways. So both the employee and the employer will have a better coordination, and they'll be able to coordinate in a better way. And the fourth feature is support from superior. So the superior also needs to support the employee, or he also needs to motivate and encourage the employee in order to achieve the objectives of the organization. Fifth is role clarity. The employee should have a better clarity about his role and responsibility in the organization. Next, we'll be moving towards the MBO process. So the MBO process starts from first they have to define organizational goals, then they need to define employees' objective, then there must be a continuous monitoring of employees' performance and progress, then they need to provide a honest feedback, and after that they have to give them performance appraisal, and after that they need to evaluate or review the performance of the employee as well as the manager. Next is advantage of MBO. So the first advantage is improved performance. Here the manager needs to concentrate on important tasks, so therefore he will be able to reduce cost and harness more opportunity in the company. Second is maximum utilization of human resources. So as the goals are already fixed according to the ability of the employee, it obtains maximum contribution from the side of the employee, and thus they are able to maximum utilize the human resources available in the company. Third advantage is improved communication. So in MBO the communication is two-way, which helps them to clarify or modify any aspect of the objective, and it helps them to avoid as many conflict as possible. And the fourth advantage is career development of the employees. So the management takes interest in development of skills and ability of employees, which provides them a better opportunity to strengthen themselves, and thus leading to a better career development. And the fifth advantage is stimulating the motivation of employees. So the MBO stimulates employee motivation, and thus the employees feel more motivated as they are participating in setting the objectives, and thus the appraisal system in MBO is more specific and objective, which boosts the morale of the employee. Next, we'll be moving towards the limitation of MBO. So the first limitation is lack of support of top management. So as in the early organization, the authority flowed from top to bottom. So top to bottom, but in MBO the subordinates are given more equal opportunity, which may be resented by the top management. Second limitation is costly and time consuming. So as we know that MBO is quite costly and time consuming, so the manager needs to prepare a lot of paperwork and has to conduct a lot of meeting and reports. So therefore this might be the reason why most of the manager resist adopting MBO. The third limitation is lack of adequate skills and training. So most of the managers in companies, they might lack the adequate skills, knowledge or training required in interpersonal interaction. So most of the time what they may do is like they may just most of the manager, what they do is they just sit down with the subordinate and dictate the goal to them and targets they need to achieve in the organization. So at that time there is no input from the side of employee. And the fourth limitation is poor integration. So integration of MBO with other systems such as like budgeting is very poor, which overall makes the whole system very conflicting, and it is very difficult to understand. The fifth limitation is inflexibility. So most of the time what happens is MBO makes the organization rigid, and as we all know that the goals of the organization, it has a time period, like it could be 6 months, 1 year, 3 months, it could be any time period. So most of the time what happens is the manager may not like to revise the goals in between due to the fear of resistance from the employee's side. So the next topic is management process. So first I'll be introducing management process. So management process is its sole aim is to achieve a purpose. So this purpose could be increasing the client numbers, or increasing or developing the skills and knowledge of the employees, or achieving a specific sales target. Management process can also be known as a process of interrelated functions. Um, management process is also we can consider management process as a process which includes planning, directing, controlling, organizing, staffing, etc. Next, we'll be moving towards the definition of management process. So according to Dale S. Bitch, management is the process of utilizing human and material resources to accomplish a designated objective. So Adnatha, Dale, what Dale is trying to say is that it is a process where both human resources as well as material resources are utilized to their fullest in order to achieve a designated objective of the organization. And this objective is achieved through organizing, directing, and controlling, and evaluating the people in the organization. Next, we'll be moving towards management as a process. So management as a process is divided into three. It can be considered as social process, integrating process, and continuous process. So first we'll be looking towards management as social process. So management as social process, because it does not only involve the control and use of financial resources, but also it gives more relevant importance to human resources in the organization to achieve the target. So here the company is also giving more importance towards the well-being of the employees in the organization. So thus management can be considered a social process. Next, management as an integrating process. So management can be considered integrating process because it is a process where human resources are working together in harmony in order to achieve a firm's target. So here both the human resource and financial resources are integrating in order to make a good use of the firm and to achieve the targets fixed by the firm. Next, management as a continuous process. So management can be considered as a continuous process because it is a process that will never end as long as the organization remains, which means like the company will be receiving project goals, challenges in a continuous way. Like after 1 year also, like 1 year they'll be getting a different project, and another year they'll be getting a different project. So it is like a continuous cycle. It will only end when the organization is closing or the business is closed. Only at that time it will come to an end. Otherwise it will keep on continuing. So by that we'll be concluding the topic. So in conclusion, just I would like to say that MBO is a modern tool where high performance is required by the organization, and it also helps the organization to increase their efficiency as well as their employees' efficiency. Whereas management is a process through which the organization achieves its objective, and it is through a systematic, coordinated, and cooperated effort. And then last, I would just like to conclude by saying what is not measured cannot be managed. അതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം ലൈക്ക് നമുക്ക് മെഷർ ചെയ്യാത്ത സംഭവം നമുക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും ലൈക്ക് വി ക്യാൻ നെവർ മാനേജ് ഇറ്റ്.